What's up? So pretty interesting questions there yesterday, huh? About like rules. I mean, that's the kind of the thing. Like a lot of people say is there's rules as written, and then there's rules as intended. Meaning what is intended and how it's written are two different, kind of two different stories. I mean, Francois isn't wrong. I mean, they are English people, but for some odd reason, it seems like I don't know. Um, they're just getting GW is just getting terrible at writing rules. I like Magic the Gathering, Magic the Gathering when you read their cards and you read other cards like it and other cards that are similar, it's very very well written. The whenever you read the abilities and stuff is very well written. The only thing that you'll be lacking is whether you know what it means or not, as in like what like first strike means. But it's really well written. At the end of combat, during combat, at the end of turn or at end of turn. Those are well written rules. You just have to kind of sometimes maybe ask once and you'll know kind of deal. Hey, Francois, we're just talking about you. uh, and just also talking about how Games Workshops their ability to write rules seem to have gotten worse or something. You compare it to like Magic the Gathering, where their rules are really really well written. Like you can look at new rules and stuff like that using phrases like at end of turn or until end of turn. Even though those seems to be confusing, but they're really well written in other cards, so you know how they're played. Whereas GW just seems to like fumble all the time. We're talking like also about like rules as written versus rules as intended. Also, you know, where they wrote it one way and it sounds like one way, but the intention was another way. And GW is just slipping up and having to clarify so many things. It's like they don't even, proofread their stuff sometimes. But at least they FAQ it or yeah FAQ it. Just wish to get to it like sooner sometimes. The thing is that being for everyone doesn't mean that they write bad rules. Jesus, rule writing and whether it's for everyone or not are just, in my book are two different things. Oh Jesus. Ooh, I didn't draw that up too well. There's also another question I'd like to ask you, Francois. This was kind of a bit weird, and it deals with Calgar again. I'm sure it deals with everyone that does the ability. So what do you think? How do you think it works? So let's say Calgar's in a transport. At the command phase, does he generate a command point? Ooh. I mean, I get their phrasing for that because, obviously they're a business and they want to sell to as many people as possible. But they should also get their shit together as well because, good lord, they're gonna mess up like those people who absolutely love the game. So, no, being on a transformation not on tape. So, Calgar would not generate the additional CP, right? According to what you're saying here. Think, this is their freaking 10th edition. You figured they would learn how to write rules. Jesus. It's not like this is their first rodeo either. Or second or third or fifth for that matter. Jesus. So I think whenever I was looking up a transport rule, I saw that according to like you said, Francois, I would agree with you there. And I spoke up about it. It's like no, because I think the transport says that you're no longer considered to be on the tabletop. But then the dude correct me. He was an Ultramarines player. Apparently, he was third in the world in terms of Ultramarines player. But he said no, you still generate CP. And I think I looked it up, and it's like yeah, he's right. Calgar still generates the CP. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I'm glad for that because I like to put Calgar in a transport, but at the same time, it's like it seems contradictory in terms of the rules. Let's see if I transport. Embark units. So right here it says embark units. Units embarked within a transport do not count as being on the battlefield for any rules purposes. This means that unless explicitly stated otherwise, embark units cannot do anything. Shoot, fight, use abilities, etc. Similarly, you cannot select an embark unit as a target for any rules, including stratagems. And that is hilarious because that means that even you use their abilities, so maybe active abilities. Well, it's not just Calgar, I don't believe. It's anyone who generates a CP, I'd assume. It would be really weird if Calgar is the only one that breaks that rule. Um, and Calgar rule says at the start of your command phase, if this unit's Marnus Calgar model is on the battlefield, you gain 1 CP. But yet the embark rule says that means unless stated, the embark units cannot do anything, or do not count as do not count as being on the battlefield. So that's contradicting each other in terms of their rules. It's so freaking. Well, GW for you. G dubs. Um, what can you do? He doesn't really break a lot of rules. Well, I mean, I guess when we were talking about his like bodyguard stuff, or not his bodyguard, his pre-attached unit. I know what you're talking. Yeah, Calgar is kind of like a good tester, I suppose. 'Cause, yeah, Calgar does break a lot of rules, but it's the way they made them, though. Nice, come on. Yeah, you can't target a unit inside any vehicles considered to be in the battlefield. Yeah, it'd be a different story then, for sure. I mean, again, you know how I look at things as challenges. So it's kind of like the same thing with me with uh, the doctrines. So I have to be really wise about dropping certain units because sometimes I can't put that unit in a particular doctrine because they're not in the field during the command phase. So I have to make sure that I call the doctrine out before they drop in. That way they're in the proper doctrine. Wait, what are you saying? Let's see. What are you talking about? I'm gonna use the Shroud Squad in the Land Raider before they got out and charge only because they used it on my command phase. Clarify that for me. Maybe I miss what you're saying. It's because it was written so long ago, probably. I don't know. Like hopping out of vehicle and you can't charge or something? I need to use the shred on that squad, but only in my command phase, right? Yeah. I need to charge out of the. I mean, you can. Well, the assault ramp allows you to, I think, move the vehicle, hop out, and still charge. So I have to start them out of it, and put them in it, and no, 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 no. What assault ramp does is allows you to move the vehicle. I think I played a long time ago too. I don't know what it is currently. Actually, I can look it up for current. But yeah, so as far as I remember, it allows you to move the vehicle, even advance it, and then your characters and models can come out and still make a charge move. Whereas other vehicles, if the vehicle moves, they can't charge. Do it from Storm Raven. Fly up, disembark, disembark, and charge with a dreadnought. Next turn. Charge next turn. Is that like the is that the what do you call it? Freaking good lord, I can't think of the word again. I am just mentally not here today. Um what's that stupid store that GW bought recently? Not even an 11, not even 11th, probably freaking in 10th. Well, actually probably not now. The Storm Chicken. Yeah, I'm not buying any flyers, man. GW just keeps screwing them up. And plus, I don't know. Like I did land speeders for a time with scouts. They're pretty nice, but they're essentially just suicide bombers at that point. Okay, let me so think, are you talking about like current Land Raider assault ramp, or was it previous editions? If it's current, I can look it up now on the app because I do have the codex, of course. But if you're talking about previous editions, well, I don't really have the codex for those. I do actually have third, fourth, and fifth edition codex, but I would only make assumptions. I have like 10,000 points. Almost for this point, price have gone up 4 times, and sure, and I started playing. Jeez. Well, it's a good thing you bought all your models now before the prices went up. Current assault ramp need to use a strategy. Okay. Okay. So current assault ramp. Let me take a look at the current assault ramp. I probably won't be able to look up the strat because I don't have Dark Templars. GW has great rules for flyers and Skies of Death. Good luck with scrubs to read them and buy the flyer too easy when we're. Like. I actually had dice from I guess apparently their flying game that they had some time ago, which I think died according to someone that knew about it. I didn't even know there were a freaking like a flyer version of the 40K game. I thought they were Inquisitor dice. Okay, let's see. Land Raider, Assault Ramp. Abilities. Each time a unit disembarks from this model after it has made a normal move, that unit is still eligible to declare a charge. So basically, with the Land Raider Assault Ramp, if you make a normal move with the Land Raider, they can hop out and still make a charge. Which is really good, because a lot of vehicles you can't, once you move the vehicle, you cannot charge, even if you hop out. What is the strat though? I get where you're coming from. Can give lethal withstand hits to a unit in my command phase. Is it from like a? Oh, it's a stratagem. You said. Hmm. The strat that's. Yeah, and like I said, to me that's still a challenge. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like anything that doesn't fit within the strategies that I have, um, kind of like I want to give, was it my Inceptor squad, Devastating Doctrine before they even come into combat, but I can't give them Devastator Doctrine because they're in Deep Strike. You can actually give units stratagems while they're in reserves, but only if they have a captain in there, and only if it allows them to have it or something like that. It's some really weird rule. Hey, what's up, Paint? Going to Storm playing 9th against a bunch of dudes who played 8th and before. What does that think? I heard some people like 8th and stuff like that. Old 4K players love Gotcha Hammer and love keeping secrets. All the old school players I play do not play by intent, but instead by love surprises. Yeah, like for me, I mean, you kind of have to ask. Like, for me, I'm not gonna tell you every single little thing about my army, but if there's specific things that you're curious about, um, generally speaking, I will tell you, especially if it's like a gotcha ability. But if there's any specific stratagems or something like that you gotta know or want to know, then you have to ask. You just make it a little bit easier. So like I always tend to ask if they have any ability to advance in charge or fall back in charge, because those are the biggest gotchas for me. Um, Even if they tell me the rules, I still sometimes will forget them. Like certain gotchas they have in their army. You just go player only play by intent. Well, that's kind of scummy. I won't say scummy, but I would say that's pretty bad. Like if I'll do maybe a couple of gotchas, like maybe one to teach a new player. It's like whenever you play, you kind of have to ask like certain things that you might want to know before you play the army. I'll probably tell them that up front though. Yeah, there are people out there who will play a lot of gotchas. It's like, well, you should have asked. Like, yeah. So again, another lesson learned that I did too is that if there's anything I need to know about someone's army, I will ask. Especially the important stuff for me. Fall back and shoot or advance and charge. Because those are really gotchas for me and they kind of hurt my army. I also ask like if anything can deep strike within 6 or 3 inches, and if anything can fights first. Boy, fights first. Are you going to learn? I had a high school player telling me that I killing 600 points of my army in my deployment zone. I had to ask him before if I needed to screen. Francois. For me, playing tournament lists or whatever, I don't care. I'll tell you the gotchas that I have, but obviously I still depend on you to ask me what's important that you need to know from my army, and I'll let you know. Sometimes even in the middle of the game, I'll remind them, say, hey, look, if you do this, I have this gotcha thing. But obviously I can't remember everything, and also I'll let them know like beforehand. And even if they make the move and it's like, oh hey, look, I have this move. Do you want to take your move back? Because if you get within 9 inches of my characters, I can like, move up to D6 inches away. He could say, nah, I want to do it because you roll a D6, you could roll a one, and then I'm still closer towards you. It's like, okay, cool. So I'm not that much of an a-hole, even in tournament list. Because if I give you all the advantages in the world and I don't pull back my mistakes and I still win, that means I did something good. But I look to that as a challenge in my book, where I let you pull back your mistakes and I try not to pull back any of my own. If I forget something, I usually it's like, hey, do you mind if I go ahead and shoot? Or if they forgot something and they say, hey, do you mind if I shoot? It's like, yeah, go ahead. If you ask specific questions, but if you ask if I have any gotchas, I'm gonna say I don't. I would say I have a lot of gotchas. I have what you call fire Overwatch as a gotcha. I have a grenade strat. We all know what they are. Reactive moves. Yeah, but I'm very relaxed with mine. Like, hey, look, I have a movement that I could do. Do you still want to make that movement? Because sometimes I won't even do it, and they'll pull back. It's like, okay, well, I don't want to do my movement anyway, so, or whatever the case may be. Because it's not like I have to do the gotcha. I could sit there and just bait it, in a sense, use it as a bait. Overwatch D6 plus one. Who the hell is doing that? That looks like, oh, D3 damage, huh? That's the Necron thing, I'm sure. I was gonna say D6 damage would be the Vindicator tank. Let's see. Comfort Stalker's flat 3 damage. On his Francois is either gaslighting me or is he actually as bad as he's saying, even with casual players. Well, he says if he's playing his tournament list, he's going to keep stuff from you. But if it's casual, I think he says he'll let you know. I'm not going to presume your ignorance and that you asked me to play cause the guy. I'm the guy in your store that's hard difficulty rating. And that's my type of player. I want a person who's not going to take it easy on me, they'll go all hard, but will answer my questions in fairness and honesty. And if you do that, I will have mad respect for you, and you're the type of person I want to play against. Because I don't want someone to take it easy on my ass just because I'm a freaking noob. Challenges is my thing. I absolutely want a challenge. That's the reason why I play 40% win rate armies, okay? Because 50% win rate is way too high for me. I will dread the day that freaking Space Marines goes up to 50%. I'm like, God damn it. Now I have to play freaking Imperial agents. So I can start bitching about. So I can say that's not my skill that's his issue. It's my army. Look, 38% win rate. How do you expect me to win? Fair enough. Well, I mean, again, like I said, everything to me is like if it's difficultness, if it's restrictive, there is a limit on terms of challenges. Like there is a bit of a crazy thing where like your entire army is just nerfed so bad that it's not even a challenge anymore. It's just retarded. Well, and that's something that you should try to be aware of. You know, people are not going to try to be gotchas, but honestly, like Francois says, you know, they don't know what you know and what you don't know. But if you do come up there saying that you're brand new and you don't know much about the army, you can ask them, hey, you know, what should I look out for? or do you have any kind of things that are detrimental to my army? You could look into that. Everyone's a little bit different in terms of their friendliness for sure. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to tell you necessarily, but what I could do is like while we're playing, all of a sudden you move your guys up too close to my guys. It's like, hey, look, I have a stratagem that if you move within 9 inches of me, I can use it to move away from you. Do you want to take that move back? I'll ask you then and there instead of saying, well, gotcha. Kind of that kind of deal. Often gets challenged. People who are trying to play hard mode. And they're short for pugs. Wait, pugs is pickup groups? Is that what you're using pugs as? That's kind of funny though. Yeah, yeah, and that's what I normally do, and like I'm not all hard ass about it. Like I said, if I can if I can disadvantage myself a lot and advantage my opponent a lot, and I still win, that means I'm good. Either that or I cheated somehow and not realize it. Kind of like whenever I played against my opponent one time, he kind of got me with a gotcha, but I kind of knew about it, and it's my fault, honestly. Where I shot his blood, um, I shot his corn berserkers, I think, the basic troop choice, and he ended up doing the blood move or whatever it is, where he went into close combat with me. I lost my ability to charge, but at the same time, I would have still done the same thing anyway. I would have still shot him up. My dice rolls were terrible. No, actually, they were pretty good. I guess he saved quite a bit, and it left him with one berserker. And because that berserker was still alive, he was able to do that blood charge, Bl- blood surge. Yeah. So, I mean, I would have still done it even though he had that ability. It's just that I'm amazed how he survived the attacks. He was rolling good and bad. I think one time Angron flopped really, really hard, like the absolute worst. Because whenever I turned around, it's like Angron's gonna attack my thing. It's like okay, and I came back. It's like it's only two. I'm like two. What do you mean two? Is this Angron that song? It's like yeah. It's like god dang, your old must have been shit. Oh really? What did it update it to? We played this last week. Looks at Warhammer says too easy. I want to play the words faction. Kinda. I mean, I've always played Ultramarines, by the way, so it's not necessarily like I like to play the worst factions per se. It just so happens that I want to get play Ultramarines, and they happen to be the worst faction. I'm like, well, you know what? That doesn't matter. I love Ultramarines, and I'm gonna play them regardless. The rule of cool. Like there is a breaking point for everyone. Where like if something is nerfed too badly that people won't play it. Um I guess my tolerance for that is really really high, and I guess because I look at a lot of things in life as challenges that I'm always up for a challenge. The updated old surge movement. Ooh, I wonder. I definitely need to take a look at that because boy, if he can't get into melee combat with me, I will shoot the living crap out of him again. I'll still do it anyway, regardless. Hmm. Surge. Mm-mm. Mm. Definitely have to look at that FAQ though. I don't see it in my book. Almost, it's not absolute. So you're still saying there's still a chance. That's a good example. You still use them and all that. Well, I swapped them out a little bit for Whirlwind, but I'm thinking back and forth between them. But the only reason why I originally went Whirlwind a long time ago is they were cheaper than the Desolation Squad. I think Whirlwinds were like 140 points. But every time I freaking roll my Whirlwind for the D6 plus 3 attacks, 1, okay? 2, okay? 1. I'm like, God damn it, man, come on. I don't think I've rolled, and then even with 4, end up with 1 wound. It is, but there's no AP to their shots. Is the problem with the Whirlwind? If you get it at least with the Storm of Fire, it's at least an AP2 shot, so it makes it a lot worse to saving. Can kill Marines relatively easy because it's 2 damage. When you say old Whirlwind, do you mean where you have to say, I'm going to shoot my Whirlwind at that squad, and it's about 36 inches away? Excuse me, Jesus. And it's about 36 inches away, so you have to then measure, and then you're like, okay, I have to move the marker right here, and then you roll to scatter it. I was pretty good at guessing the measurements. Yeah, it's 200 points for 5 of them. Whirlwind now, they bumped it up to 180 points. So it's not much of a saving. Dude, I gotten so good at measuring by eye, like by feet, that I was almost always on point. It's only because of the Whirlwind that I was that good, or that decent. Yeah, they went up on the points. I don't know why. It's well, obviously my rolls are terrible, and I hate that. I could never get above 4 shots, or 5 shots actually. Oh, good lord, a lot. Yeah. Oh, they actually nerfed. What else did it nerf? Like really, really hard unintentionally. Oh, fire discipline got nerfed really, really hard because they nerfed it by bumping its points up to 45 points for that ability. But then they nerfed it again with it lost its critical hit on 5 pluses. Instead of the critical hit on 5 pluses now, it's a re-roll to your advance roll, I think. Let me take a look at it real quick. I'm like, good lord, it's like completely and utterly worthless just because it's so expensive and it does no benefit anymore. Um, Not Lieutenant Titus. So, fire discipline. Okay, fire disciplines cost 40 points. Adeptus is hardest model only. While the bearer is leading a unit, ranged weapon equipped by the model will have the sustained hits 1 ability. In addition, while the bearer is under the effects of the Devastator Doctrine, you can re-roll the advanced roll made for that unit. It used to be, I think, crits on 5 plus. They removed that because of the combo of the Apothecary and Gravis armor. They also nerfed that one. It used to be 55 points for him. Now it's 70 points. So the Apothecary Biologist was 55 points. Because a lot of people ran the Biologist because of his ability of lethal hits. You give him Fire Discipline, now has sustained hits and lethal hits, and critting on the 5 plus. And you put him with the Aggressor Squad. But now they nerfed the Biologist by increasing his points cost by 15. You increase the points cost of Fire Discipline by either 10 or 5, and then you nerf Fire Discipline again by removing its critical strike ability. They just GW for you, you know. Like, I get the buff and points and stuff, that was fine. But when they nerf the critical strikes on 5 plus, it made the fire discipline useless. 40 points for sustained hits, not really worth it, I don't think. I mean, Space Marine at 40% win rate had a nerf, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Their 40% win rate, it's way too high. Can't wait for the new Imperial Guard Codex. I will finally be able to play with my new army. 2/3 Imperial Guards, 1/3 ally units, aka assassins, and 2 armigers. Well, can't wait to see that for sure. Hopefully this Wednesday I'll be able to play and record a game with webcam instead, so that I can get better recordings instead of the way I've been doing it. Okay. Afraid of what I can do with my 40% one. I mean, it's really kind of it is kind of strange. Like, apparently there's this one guy, at least according to a person that plays at the shop, there's a guy that plays Ultramarines, and he plays. At one point, he played the aggressors. Really, apparently he's doing really well. He's not top 5. He might have been top 10, but they apparently nerfed the aggressor squad pretty quickly after they saw him doing pretty well. I'm waiting to find out if we get new Grey Knights so I can ally Imperial agents with Grey Knights. Why not the reverse? Why not Imperial agents with allied Grey Knight? Or, well, you wouldn't be allied Grey Knights. You'd actually be the sub-faction of them. Who would you ally, though, Francois? Would it be the Inquisitors? Or would it be the Assassins? Because I think a lot of the Assassins kind of lose their ability, or they cost much more points if you're not running Imperial agents as them with them. No Imperial Knights. No, it's with Grey Knights. Ah, okay. Which Inquisitor are you gonna run? I don't know. I don't know too much about the Imperial agents, honestly. I don't. They have the worst win rate at the moment. I feel sorry for them a little bit, but generic. What would he provide? I really haven't looked at the Inquisitors on that particular list. I know my one of my people that play over there runs the Navigator, I believe. I I think it's the Navigator is the one that has a 12-inch bubble around it. Actually, I need some water. You use it to just kind of stay at the home base. Oops. At the rate of how fast we're getting prime marks, it might get to see. What do you mean by the missing prime mark? Like number 2 and 12? That's how this thing looks. Combat weapon. Regain 3, 6 on 3 plus. Regain. Huh. Paint, I doubt that. I don't know what they're gonna do with the lost Primarchs. Apparently, a lot of the Primarchs knew about them and wanted Malcador to erase their memory of those Primarchs. Or something along those lines. When I was listening to lore, I've heard that. Hey, what's up, Tiki? Counting the days when you start streaming again, man. 2d6, strength 3, AP2, dev wounds, and torrent. That's got to be the flamer then. For sure, man. That's what I was thinking about. It's like I'm feeling tired myself with a new schedule at work as well. So hopefully that change will change something a little bit. Don't know whether I should do yellow or purple for this yellow that I'm painting. Looks kind of standoutish a bit. Very nice. Give them lethal. Oh, shit. Very nice giving lethal hits in melee. Man, so you having a melee Inquisitor? Hmm. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing that list for sure. Especially, I wouldn't mind hearing the battle report for that particular game. Also, well, shit, pictures, YouTube video, post it. Yeah, I gotta do the same with mine too. Hopefully, I'll get some videos soon. This is going to be a company of champ. Oh. Is it the I guess the regular company command? Company champion. Oh, just a champion portion of it. Firstborn. Ah, actually, I was thinking about. I think I had the firstborn ones. All pewter models. Crazy heavy. Mine's Kit Bash. Is it all pewter, or do you have it mixed with plastic too? Oh, really? I must be thinking of a different kit then, because I think the one I have or had, I have no idea where it went anymore. It's all pewter, especially the flag. Freaking purely heavy pewter. breakfast place close for. Oh, what was it called? Hoping for the final product to look like this guy. Jeez. This looks so cool. Can't really see his face. There we go, a little bit. Well, I don't know. Is it just like it's just strictly a local place, like only one ever exists from it? Oh. Ah, mom and pop store. I mean, I'm guessing hard times or costs went crazy, I suppose. Kind of sucks. A lot of good mom and pop store kind of went out. Can't wait to do this big guy. Trying to think how I'm gonna paint this dude. Look at that butt. Kind of cool looking. I guess he looks like a mini version of this guy a little bit. Almost. Huh. Ah, man, your favorite place and you're calling them lazy. Like that's tough. There's even more anime. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, it is a 40K-ish paint. Not 40K-ish, like futuristic sci-fi-ish. Um, Mixed between like a noir sci-fi type thing. Well, you know, they got what they deserved, I suppose, right, Francois? Even though it's your favorite place. That kind of sucks. Although I will say it's kind of weird for you to say it's your favorite place that you call them lazy bitches. Not exactly two things that go together, but I wonder if we can do this one in purple. Guess let's try that. Where is my purple at? Before we close out the day. Nope. There we go. Was the owner lazy like them too? So if we were to come this, I didn't even have the order. I don't know whether purple or yellow would be good. So my two options when I'm gonna let them dry. So they're yellow on that little yellow, that weird pattern, or purple on that weird pattern on that leg. Not sure. Uh, just a question. Have you taken any further look into the new version of the dock? Well, I could look into it, but hold on. Hold on, let me drink. Jeez. I can definitely look at the document actually. I'll have to look at it at work. Hopefully I'll have time there. Because I got to call it a little bit early tonight. Well, not early. I did stream for an hour almost. A little over an hour. 2 hours. Almost an hour. Jeez. Can I say any words? Um, the thing is, though, is that I think a lot of that information, though, is mostly for you or for reference. So, but I'll take a look at it for sure. And Francois, Jesus, 70%. I mean, double the price of everything. Good Lord. Yep, I am. I'm out. Could barely afford stuff. So, anyways, I'm not necessarily finished with Ultramarines. I've kind of slowed down with them. I do need to paint my Whirlwind, but I think I'm 3D printing a new one. Hopefully, I can get that done and fully painted before Saturday. Because I have a tournament coming up. I have one Whirlwind instead of running Desolation squads. But if I keep rolling ones on my D6 plus 3 shots, I am retiring the Whirlwind and going back to my Desolation squad. Just because at least I get 5 D3s plus the blast. Yes. And then if I can see them, I can get another D6 plus 1 plus blast shots. Well, yeah. I mean, I want to look at the changes. A lot of the, like I said, a lot of things about in terms of armor, in terms of weaponry, all that is more for reference for you. Like, I don't know what that even would even mean. Again, when you look at storytelling, you know, specifics aren't exactly what you put into the story, but it is nice to have like a reference book to where you see the different armor platings, the different type of weapons they have. I remember my friend getting a Star Wars book that when you open up, you can look at the different types of lightsabers, the different crystals that go inside of them, and you can see the different types of stormtroopers and stuff, the different armors that they have. What was the purpose of those armors? So that's kind of like what you have going on with your story right now at the moment. You do have backstories in terms of the races and stuff, but you also have a lot of the equipment and all that along with it. Well, I guess it's Francois, it's time to learn how to cook some good biscuits and gravy, which I have not had in a long time. Damn, 30 miles away too. Jesus Christ. I have to go outside and unplug my car in the freezing temperature. Hopefully I don't freeze my ass off. So anyways, I try to stream. Excuse me. Ooh, maybe I should try some of that sometime. Stuff and buy more new stuff. Well, so I try to stream over there around 4 to 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I try to stream for at least an hour to try to paint all my crap, all of it, all the crap right here, all of it. Ultramarines, Infinity, Tau, Beastmen, and who knows what else. I try to stream for at least an hour. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up to the channel below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.